My name is Rakesh Rao. I am the executive editor of First Construction Council, welcoming you all for today's panel discussion on the topic of cost optimization uh, in road construction. So, and this webinar has been organized by First Construction Council in association with Construction World, Infrastructure Today, and Equipment India magazine. So before we start, just to explain you the proceedings of today's webinar in short. After my presentation and opening remarks, we will start with the panel discussion for 60 minutes. And then we will take the questions from the audience for 10 to 15 minutes. So that is how we are going to organize today's function. With that, I will just explain to our audience the role of First Construction Council with a short presentation. And then we can start with the panel discussion. Let me share my screen with you. Hope this screen is visible to everybody.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, it is.
So the First Construction Council is an infrastructure think tank focused on providing the latest updates on construction industry in India and is dedicated to promoting its causes and the needs. The First Construction Council is governed by a board of governors who are distinguished industry leaders. Some of you can see them on the screen. Mr. D.K. Sen of Larsen and Toubro, architect Hafiz contractor, Pradeep Singh, former VC and MD of IDFC. Then we have Mr. Vinay Pai of Tata Projects, Sanjay Seth, Senior Director Terry, Sandeep Singh, MD Tata Hitachi, Subodh Dixit, former Executive Director of Sapoji Palanji. So this board of governors help us in deciding the guide us on how the council works, and also helps us in connecting with people and arranging the programs. So the council members benefits in more than one ways. This includes industry networking opportunities, knowing consumption trends, understanding the market conditions better, and access to growth opportunities. And how do members achieve all these benefits? Through white papers and research reports released by the council and several events such as webinars, conferences, and industry award ceremonies that we organize throughout the year. In fact, on June 11th, we will be hosting the Mumbai Redevelopment Summit at Courtyard by Marriott in Mumbai. The summit is a unique platform that will bring together builders, developers, housing society, government bodies, and other decision makers to discuss the Mumbai's transformation through redevelopment projects. The event will provide an opportunity to connect with 200 plus key project leaders and discover new business avenues and limitless growth prospects. This will be followed by a construction technology summit on June 25th at the same location in Mumbai. The event will discuss the impact of technologies such as BEAM, 3D modeling, 3D printing, geospatial technology, robotics, AI and ML on the future of construction and infrastructure in the country. The summit will showcase latest cutting-edge technologies that is revolutionizing the construction processes from metro rail projects to landmark structures such as Statue of Unity, Chenab Bridge, and Atal Tunnel. The CTS Summit presents an exclusive opportunity for 10 groundbreaking startups to showcase their ideas, technologies, and solutions that can transform the future of the construction industry. And then on September 3rd and 4th at Geo World Convention Center, FCC will be hosting the 5th RAHSTA Expo that promises to be the hub for innovation, collaboration, and forward-thinking solutions in the world of road construction. RAHSTA means Roads and Highways Sustainable Technologies and Advancement is dedicated to advancing the integration of sustainable technologies, cutting-edge machineries, and smart practices in road infrastructure development. The RAHSTA Expo will be held as a part of 11th India Construction Festival, a congregation of key events such as RAHSTA Conference, 23rd Construction Global Awards, and 13th Equipment India Awards, recognizing the contribution of construction equipment industry. So on the list, on the screen, you can see the list of events that will be organized by the First Construction Council in 2025. So in case anybody is interested in First Construction Council or any of its events, drop us an email at contact@firstconstructioncouncil.com. So coming to today's topic of discussion of our panel discussion, the road construction is a critical pillar of infrastructure development and which drives the economic growth, regional connectivity, and urban expansion. Since April 2014, India has built and upgraded nearly 1,01,900 kilometers of national highways. Looking ahead, the Union government has set an ambitious target of constructing 10,000 kilometers of highways in FY 25-26. Despite rapid road development, factors such as cost overruns, project delays, and environment concerns continue to challenge the efficiency and the sustainability of road projects. Against this backdrop, today's virtual panel discussion will explore the various strategies required to optimize costs without compromising on durability, safety, and sustainability in road construction. Our guests for today's webinar include Dr. Sudhir Hosing, Chief Mentor, IRB Infrastructure Developers Limited; Mr. R.K. Pandey, former Member Projects, National Highway Authority of India; Dr. Manoranjan Parida, Director, CSIR, Central Road Research Institute; and Dr. V. Ramchandra, Director, RAHSTA, Center for Road Technology. The session will be moderated by Mr. Devang De, partner, PwC India. So before I hand over the virtual platform let me stop my sharing. So before I hand over the virtual platform to our moderator, let me introduce him and our esteemed panelist for today's discussion. So Mr. De is a partner with PwC's Infrastructure, Transport, and Logistics Group with 17 years of experience across industry, research, and consulting. Over the years, he has advised organizations such as multilateral development banks, domestic and international EPC companies, mobility players, PE funds, major industrial units, as well as governments. Geographically, Mr. De has worked with clients from Southeast Asia, Middle East, North America, and UK. Then we have Dr. Sudhir Hosing. Prior to his current role, Dr. Hosing was the CEO of IRB Infrastructure Developers Limited. He has rich experience of over 38 years and has an impeccable record and highly valued domain expertise. He is an experienced industry leader with strong business development skill in highways, project estimation, feasibility studies, construction, and cost control. Then we have Mr. R.K. Pandey, who has served National Highway Authorities of India as a member of projects on deputation and retired in March 2023. During his career of 35 years, he has handled important assignments, including Bharatmala. He served in a number of committees of Indian Road Congress and has assisted in formulation of standards and specifications. Then we have Dr. Manoranjan Parida, who is presently Director of CSIR Central Road Research Institute. Prior to his present assignment, he was Deputy Director at IIT Roorkee. He has supervised 35 PhD theses and provided consultancy for more than 350 urban road infrastructure projects, intercity corridors, rural roads, and express highways. He is also convener of PCD6, Bitumen, TAR, and other projects committee at BIS. And we have Dr. V. Ramchandra, who is a director at RAHSTA Central for Road Technology, Bangalore. He also serves as the president of Indian Concrete Institute and is the principal advisor technical at Ultratech Cements Limited. He has been involved in various initiatives for the construction industry, such as alternative technologies for mass housing projects, development of new cements and building products, etc. He is also the member of various committees at reputed organizations just such as BIS, Indian Road Congress, and Cement Manufacturers Association. So on behalf of First Construction Council, I would welcome you all. And with this, I would request Mr. Day to take over the proceeding.
Thank you, Rakesh ji. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a Friday afternoon. I hope we are able to keep you engaged in this conversation as well. So cost optimization, to my mind, is one of the most important topics today, right? I mean, in the road sector, we all know what's happening, the amount of aggression, and the bidding trends and all of that. So unless and until you are, being not only, optimized in terms of your supply chain, your delivery, management, and so on, today it's very difficult to survive in this particular market. To be very honest, if you look at the numbers, also the financial numbers of most of the companies today, you'll see the PAT margins to be in single digits, the EBITDA margins to be somewhere between 8 to 15% at most. There are some exceptions, of course, but that's how the industry is going. And one of the things that I heard from one of my clients, very profound thing that remained with me is he said that there are two kind of companies in India. One are thekedars and others are engineering and construction company. And cost optimization and the way you do it without cost cutting is exactly the difference between the two companies, right? So that's a start. Maybe uh, you know uh, to start with, I'll go to the first line of the entire value chain, which is the project planning and so on, to Mr. RK Pandey, former member of Projects National Highway Authority of India. So, sir, in your view, I mean, the first stage is obviously getting the alignment, sorted, and getting the land acquisition strategies, the DPR to be done in a well-met manner, and so on. How do you think can the early stage planning help reduce unnecessary cost escalation while maintaining quality and safety standards?
Good evening, everyone. I hope I am clear and loud.
Yes,
Friends,
absolutely, sir. You are.
Planning and pre-construction activities, these are the two foundation for successful completion of a project. If you'll have to do a project timely, you'll have to have completed all the pre-construction activities. And when it comes to cost optimization, it has to be, at the planning stage, it has to be given a lot of thoughts. The problem with our project is, unfortunately, in the past, we have not given that much of thought process has not gone into both these. But over a period of time, with the passage of we got the experience. We have changed in both the fields. As far as land acquisition is concerned, yes, now the works are not awarded till you have land in possession. Earlier, we used to go by 3D notification. Now it is the payment have been made and the land is in possession. The alignment is really an issue which deserve in present context a lot of attention. I can give you three important examples. Say, for example, when we have launched NHDP, our whole emphasis was improving the existing alignments, the finding out the deficiency in the existing road and improve those deficiencies to make it. But after launch of Bharatmala, the shift is towards the greenfield alignments. The whole idea is an alignment will have to follow an alignment which in terms of whole life cycle cost is the cheapest one. And that is why we have gone further, because if I am reducing the distances over a period of time, we'll save a lot. Of course, in the initial period, it may be a little costly. Number two is about think of bypasses. We have the system of construction of bypasses to avoid choke points. Once we construct a bypass, after 10 years, we'll have to have another bypass. Now, question is how long we can go on constructing bypasses. So again, here we'll have to make a shift. And rather than going for bypass, we'll have to, explore another option. Can we go elevated on the same road? Because one thing we'll have to appreciate that land is a scarce resource. And it has to be, number of people will have to share this resource, whether it's agriculture, industry, roads, bridge, everything. So we'll have to be little careful on this. And third, most important is about the since we underpasses are versus overpasses, vertical alignment. Earlier, whenever we have developed a road for safety reasons, because we were, expanding our existing alignment, we were taking up our road, which is 6-lane, 4-lane, at the top. As a result, it involves a lot of earthwork. If we'll take this road at the ground level and cross the crossing roads, it will be a easier solution. Of course, we didn't adopt it during NSDP because we have gone by the existing alignment. But in the greenfield alignment, these kind of options, if it can be explored, will certainly lead to a lot of reduction in cost. This is my first take on it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Now, coming to Dr. Ramachandra, sir, when we talk about cost control in any of our projects, there are two parts to it, right? I mean, as I was talking about Thekedar versus, the engineering and construction company, one would, actually do a cost cutting, unnecessary cost cutting, which will kind of hamper the safety and, the quality standards. And there is another part, which is cost efficiency, cost optimization per se. So, in your opinion, what policy or industry level interventions do you believe are needed to promote adoption of durable, safe, cost efficient road construction techniques across India? I mean, people are not cost cutting, but optimizing cost in the right way, per se.
Yeah, very good afternoon to all of you. Yes, road infrastructure in India is very crucial for economic growth, and definitely several policy as well as industry level interventions can impact the adoption of durable, safe, as well as you mentioned, cost effective construction techniques. One or two points on this. One is the government through IRC. We have Dr. Farida, who is the president of IRC here. IRC accredits the materials and technologies. There are several committees with experts to do this job. They are doing an excellent job, but there is no mechanism for the implementation of these new materials and technologies. Whatever is brought into ARC codes need to be followed also, and they should address the constructability issues. Any of these new materials and technologies that IRC approves, we need to address if there are any constructability issues and quality control of the projects. For example, say there are some options available for aggregate replacement. These have been considered, and they would get into the codes also. Maybe we should think of certain pilot projects, evaluation of the performance of these pilot projects, then actual monitoring of that. And if there are anything issues, things have gone well or not gone so well, documentation of that and feedback coming back to IRC to relook into that. Now, how do we calculate the cost? As Mr. R.K. Pandey has already mentioned, the first question is whether it is initial cost or the life cycle cost. Definitely, life cycle cost is something that should be considered. That is definitely the point. Can the tendering process also be modified to address this issue? Otherwise, what happens is promoting durable or safe or cost-efficient techniques, they will not get promoted. How do we evaluate any of these material technology to be durable, etc.? That will remain the question. Government of India has made several commitments for even the sustainable constructions or even net zero construction. But how do we practically implement it? Maybe, today we talk about, for many construction materials, we talk about carbon credits, though it has not picked up so much. But then incentives to the industry or construction through carbon credits, I think in the days to come, it needs to be encouraged. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I think the necessity of also testing new technologies and all of that is very important. I remember back in 2008, UK was testing a coating on the road surface on M6 toll. And eventually, once they did it, after a couple of days, skid resistance was, kind of affected, and the number of crashes increased. What we call in economics the negative externality. So, doing pilot projects and those things are absolutely very important to figure out, what's the impact of those. Uh, Now, coming to Dr. Parida from Central Road Research Institute, sir, third-party quality evaluations possibly is a necessity today. You have done, CRRI has done those kind of audits even for Dwarka Expressway. What role do independent quality assessment play in minimizing rework-related cost and ensuring long-term performance of roads?
Thank you very much for that question. And warm welcome to all the panelists. So, maintaining quality is very important for highway infrastructure projects. In fact, you mentioned about the CRI's role with respect to the third-party quality assessment of Dwarka Expressway. So, that was carried out before the infrastructure was open to the traffic or open to the public. So, the quality standard ensuring quality standard is very essential with respect to high-value projects before it is open to traffic. Sometimes you can consider that more like a structural safety audit. It's like for railways, we have seen metro rails and then high value railway projects. They'll have safety assessment before it is open to the operations. So similarly, Dwarka Expressway, I mean, it's a very, very major facility. And there has been concerns with respect to the quality. So third-party quality assessment brings in that element of assurance. So I'll say that the two words which are very important, one is compliance to quality standards, and then also to understand the roles and responsibilities of various agencies. For very high value infra projects, there are many agencies which are involved. So the quality audit, in fact, ascertains that if there has been any slip, who is responsible for that? You mentioned about two very important aspects which are tagged to third-party quality assessment. One is minimizing rework-related cost, because when you carry out this third-party quality assessment, you understand that there are, I mean, we have observed issues with respect to various components. So certain components were to be replaced. So certain changes were to be done. So maybe there were agencies, but there could be things that might have skipped attention. So those things certainly they can be addressed. So I'll say that especially early detection of defects, reduced repair cost, and improved construction quality, they are very important outcomes of third-party quality audit. Then certainly, if an infrastructure is built to standard, if it's conforming to quality norms, then it's going to last long. So you can enhance the durability of these projects. There is an element of safety which is very critical for these high-value major infrastructure of the country. And obviously, if you have constructed well, conforming to quality, then the maintenance and rehabilitation costs, they are going to be minimized in a very, very substantial manner. So that's how I look at these third-party quality assessment. And we see currently NHI is engaging not just CRI, but then other consultants with respect to third-party quality assessment. I see a value proposition when you are ensuring the quality through improve, there are different process, including third-party quality assessment.
Sir, just to clarify that one, I mean, while we have independent engineers, do you mean to say that additionally we should also do some concurrent audits in between, and not at the end of the project, because anyways then rework will be needed, but concurrent audits during the construction process and so on, to make sure that we are preempting any sort of defects per se?
Yeah, that certainly that's going to help. At least I have an experience of the State Highway Improvement Project in Bihar under RSBI program, Rashtriya Shram Vikas Yojana. So it was construction of 1700 kilometer of state highway network, where there was the concept was a concurrent quality audit during the construction. So that is one that's going to be an additional layer. But the Dwarka Expressway, we did almost towards the end of the project. But still, our advice was very meaningful in terms of identifying couple of issues. But I do agree your suggestion that if it is done concurrently, you can understand the issues at the point of construction and can really rework on those issues.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, coming back to Mr. R.K. Pandey, sir, I mean, as consultants, we debate a lot, possibly a bit theoretical also, that, in PPP projects in India, we don't have significant, provisions to do innovation and so on. But in that context, just wanted to ask you, given your contribution to the formulation of technical guidelines and specifications, do you believe current IRC norms adequately support cost optimization without compromising on performance? And if not, what reforms would you recommend?
If you'll ask a simple question, how our standard and where our standard stands, I'll say in one line, our standards are at par with the world standards. But at the same time, with the change in technology, material, equipments, these are not static document, these are dynamic document and undergoing change, every 5th year, say. So these are dynamic document are undergoing change. But at the same time, yes, when particularly let us talk about sustainability, there are a number of issues which really deserves consideration more critically on priority. Say, for example, today we are constructing paved shoulder, and the composition of the paved shoulder is kept same as that of the main carriageway, knowing fully well that it will only cater to a small portion of the traffic, knowing fully well that it should have a different texture from the point of view of the road safety. We'll have to think, why can't we reduce the thickness of the paved shoulder? Why can't we think of something? Say, for example, if I'll put paver blocks, one can see it. It will give a different, moment somebody comes out of the main carriageway, he'll understand that he has gone out of the carriageway. Similarly, there are a number of other issues, like, say, for example, in the concrete pavement, we have brought out continuously reinforced concrete pavement. But what we have written is continuously reinforced concrete pavement thickness cannot be reduced. It will be same as that of the convention. Why can't we reduce the thickness? Let us do that mathematical modeling and do it. Recycling. We have put a cap on the percentage. Why can't we increase that percentage? Around the world, things are being done in that manner. Similarly, when you will see the design of flexible payment, we have kept the CVR as 15%. With these so many, stabilizers coming in the market, why to restrict it to 15? Otherwise, new technology will never get it will never get implemented because I'm fixing the thickness. Similarly, in the tunnel areas, our electromechanical specifications, it requires a critical look to make it a little more, easier and not so tight.
Understood, sir. I mean, very pertinent. I mean, as advisors, we always debate on some of the contractual formalities also within our PPP contracts of mandatory overlay, etc., every 5 years, which are often not required also in some of the cases. Thank you so much. So going on the private side, to Dr. Hoshing, IRB, needless to say, IRB has been a pioneer, in the entire PPP ecosystem in highways. The question to you is, how do you strike a balance between cost optimization and long-term asset performance, particularly under the PPP contracts, the BOT, the HAMs, and so on?
Let us understand one thing. So cost optimization has nothing to do with quality, and it has to go all along your timeline, whatever life period you have assigned for the road, that it has to go. So cost optimization is not about substandarding anything. So it's not about lowering the standard. So cost optimization, let me tell you, earlier when we were doing BOT project, I thought that they were real beauty and we were to give 20 to 30 years of maintenance work by ourselves. So we were so much bothered by ourselves. So they were, and then you should say that what are the requirements of that pavement to be there, and what are the requirements of the road. That's it, they should tell. That's the concessioning authority. But now it has come that, there's no optimization as far as, tenders or bids are concerned. There are no optimization possibilities there, because now they are giving the height, they're giving the layer thickness, that was not given. So they're giving every small thing. So it is basically designed by the DPR consultant or NHA, and then given to you. There's hardly any chance of optimization from the design point of view. In that case, I will go with Mr. Pandey's thing, that at the stage of DPR now, since you're not giving anything to the concessionaire, so you have to do all the optimization for the nation in terms of what to do at the time of DPR. What all we can do. There's so many things. I see the unnecessary things have been given. Even today, they give, what do you say, that call box thing, which is not everybody's small thing. Tom, Dick and Harry has a mobile. Why do you need call box allowed? Every second day they get theft. And there people will keep on replacing. It's an unnecessary cost. Crores of rupees goes in that. That is about the optimization in terms of design. So design is not only the optimization in terms of what you are asking. As a contractor, we don't look at only design optimization, because that is slowly going off. They're not leaving any space. I can do something in structures. Otherwise, I have to get the strength, whatever I want. I need to give now exactly the thickness of pavement which is there. It is mentioned there. There's no way you can save yourself unless you are, want to do some theft type of thing, which is not possible in our cases. So we don't look optimization here. We look for alternative materials. So whether can we go for slag, can we fill fly ash, can we use GGBS in cement? All those things these are the alternative materials is the way of saving. It doesn't reduce your strength. In fact, some places it increases the strength. So you are actually saving in terms of, because the aggregates are to be brought from 200 kilometers. Then if you're doing recycling, then you are saving money there. So these are the points where you can save the money. And again, I've been coming back to the first point. So saving is not in terms of deteriorating the quality. There's no way that can happen, because lower quality will not even see 2 years. A pavement which has seen 2.5 years will surely see 7 years. And if it has to show decline in its quality, that will happen in 6 months. So you don't have that long period to save time, and you are doing work for 20 years. So as a private thing we do, which will last for longer, and there is no way you can reduce quality, but you can save so many other things, which are, because if you are not given chance of saving in design, then you are saving alternate materials, saving in fuel, saving in other things, better equipments. There's so many other things where you have to work better efficiencies. There are the places which you can save.
Excellent points. I mean, but that's absolutely right. In the Indian PPP contracts, although it should be output specification, we always go for input specification. And as long as that
Yes.
happens, there cannot be a design innovation, which is the core of entire cost optimization at the end of the day. Now, coming to Dr. Ramchandra, as someone leading both academic and industry-facing institutions, how do you see the role of advanced material technologies, particularly concrete innovations, in achieving cost optimization while ensuring long-term durability of road construction?
Yeah. Yes, for any construction, whether it is roads or buildings or whatever the constructions we do, yes, strength is the first criteria. Durability is definitely another criteria that needs to be satisfied. Now, industry and academics should work together. They can work together for a better overall impact. Mostly all this research comes through the laboratories first, but the researchers need to work in the field to ensure that whatever their lab conditions, whatever the work they have done, lab conditions, lab assumptions, and quality, etc., they are met with in the field. That needs to be done. Now, just an example I would like to give, as we know, comparatively, concrete pavements are proved to be very long lasting and they have better life cycle cost also. Initial cost may be high. Now, if you take one example of white topping, which has become quite popular nowadays, now, of course, now it has become quite popular, but in the initial days, there was a lot of resistance and people, very senior people who have worked in that area, whether it was late Dr. Kadiali or Professor Justo or Professor B.B. Pandey or a practitioner, Mr. R.K. Jain. They got involved in this and they ensured that whatever the projects that were happening, they were successfully executed. And I would say that is probably the reason why white topping has caught up in many places, not just because it helps in reducing the cost, the way it is designed, the thickness also is less. Not only that, but excellent interaction between research academicians and the industry. And RAHSTA was also involved in several such field quality monitoring works. And the first, one more example I would like to give, the first precast concrete road that was done in Nagpur. It was done in association with VNIT Nagpur. There are several such examples. IIT Kharagpur, IIT Roorkee, they have all partnered. And wherever the professors, academicians, researchers have partnered in the actual construction, all of them, all those constructions have resulted in excellent works. And there is also a need to look at several alternatives. Again, Mr. R.K. Pandey mentioned about CRCP, continuously reinforced concrete pavement. Yes, it takes up, the steel in that takes up both the temperature stresses as well as the flexure. Therefore, when it takes up the major part of the loads, definitely the thickness of the overall structure can be reduced. And in this, I would also like to mention that the recently released code on short paneled concrete roads that has resulted in a very optimum or a very innovative way of designing of new concrete roads. Instead of 280 or 300 the thickness is coming down to about 220 or so. That is because of the innovative designs. In fact, this type of innovative designs are happening in the building sector also. Therefore, in the road sector also, it is time that several of these initiatives which have come, they come to the light and they see the light of the day. One more area quickly is about the precast concrete roads that also has started, but it may take some more time to pick up. We need to monitor their performance. And in all this, as my co-panelist was also mentioning, for the success of all this, when we do optimization in the materials, in the way it is constructed, or use of more marginal materials, etc., when we do all this, one thing we should never forget about is about skill building of our people. Whether it is the engineers, contractors, or the workmen in the field, skill building is a very important component which is somehow not getting the focus that it needs to get. Now, if that happens, definitely these marginal materials or supplementary cementitious materials can be increased. And in road building, if we also consider the later day strengths, the thickness or the design also can be optimized. Therefore, cost also can be optimized. But all this comes with one conditions apply. That is a skill building. That is the reason why I recollect what late Dr. Kadiali used to say. Concrete roads are very good, much better than bitumen roads, but a badly constructed concrete road is worse than the badly constructed bitumen roads. Therefore, the key to success is skill building. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely agree, Dr. Ramchandra. In fact, construction, and what I feel is that we have more construction managers today than civil engineers. People can do bar bending schedules and a bit of mixed design, but that's not the end of innovation. At the end of the day, that's not engineering at all. Yeah, I mean, taking the cue from Dr. Hoshing also in terms of alternate materials, because that's what all innovations are based out of in India. Question, possibly to Mr. Dr. Parida. So CRRI had been instrumental in promoting innovative materials like steel slag and industrial waste for road construction. How do such alternatives contribute to both cost optimization and sustainability, and what are the challenges in scaling them up nationally?
So thank you very much. In fact, we are having a very good discussion which is connected. The thoughts of the panelists are getting connected. So before steel slag, I'll say that I'll give a reference to fly ash. So CRI started working on fly ash for approach roads in 1994. And you asked me that how things get scaled up. Then there was fly ash mission. Then now fly ash being used in high embankment. So then there is no looking back. So you need to start with the new materials. In fact, Pandey sir talked about, there were various questions. Why do you stick to a particular benchmark? How to beat the benchmark? So why are you getting confined only to the conventional material? I mentioned about my experience of Bihar 2007 to 2013. I have seen mountains in 2007, small hillocks, and 2013 they were not there. So that must be the story of these small hillocks, small mountains all around the country. Because of the higher development and the pressure with respect to the usage of natural aggregates, we have lost a very, very invaluable natural resources. So that was one of the key motivation for using the steel slag, which is a industrial waste from steel industry. So the processed steel slag has been used by has been used by aggregate by CRI. The process has been developed, and it was a project from Ministry of Steel, which was co-partnered with AMNS, with Tata Steel, JSW, and RINL. So that's how with that it took almost 5 years, and we have been able to do very successful trials in Surat, in Dolby, in Arunachal Pradesh, around Jamshedpur. So now there is a guideline from Ministry of Steel, and the document is being considered by Indian Roads Congress for the preparation of the manual. So you asked me that how it gets scaled up. Scaled up is possible invariably. The sector depends, looks towards IRC for a document in a very very eagerly. So the IRC H2 committee, the committee with respect to flexible pavement, is considering the Ministry of Steel guidelines. So probably with that, there could be a national level document by which more and more uses can be there. But recently, I have visited to a factory site at Surat, where steel slag is being processed, and these steel slag aggregates are used for both for road construction and also for building construction at Surat. That is one of the example. So that's but besides the steel slag and the fly ash, even the zinc slag, the copper slag has been used for road construction. CRI has worked on that, and currently we have a project on using the red mud. So that's the alumina waste which is being used for road construction. We have got trial stage from NHI at Raigada in Odisha. So when it comes to scaling up, definitely we need trial patches. So the trial patches are going to come from, say, highway agencies like NHI, DCL, from very prominent highway construction agencies from the private sector, because you need to do these trials. Without the trials, like suppose if we ask the questions, how these materials are going to behave, how these payments are going to behave, until unless you create the pilots, it's going to be very difficult. And one more industrial waste I'll say is the biochar, which is coming as agriculture waste from some of the agro industry waste. So those biochar, they are being processed for biobitumen. So we have done recently a small trial near Nagpur. But then agro industry waste also can be utilized for bitumen alternative, as I say that biobitumen, and that can be very useful for the road sector. So many of these industrial waste, I have mentioned only few of them, but then probably other industrial waste also we can explore how they can be utilized in the road sector.
I think, yes, absolutely. I mean, circular economy, all those things we talk about in different sectors, it has a real value in road sector. We need to see how to kind of build upon that. Now, coming back to Dr. Ramachandra, sustainability is a non-negotiable subject in infrastructure today. So, how can cost-effective sustainable practices such as use of alternate binders, recycled materials be mainstreamed in Indian construction?
Now, the first question would be, how do we define or how do we quantify sustainability? Therefore, to mainstream them, we need sufficient data from the field, and we should also quantify the distress and possible remedies, etc. Now, as far as Indian codes are concerned, for materials, of course, BIS codes are also there, and for road construction, IRC codes are there. Yes, these codes are focusing primarily on strength and durability, but they need to focus on sustainability also in the coming days. I'm sure what Dr. Parida mentioned, a host of alternative materials. If there are enough number of studies that has been done, we should start doing them on a pilot projects, and we should start working on that. Now, okay, my area is more on concrete related concrete roads. Now, coming to that, sustainability includes has several facets. One is the use of blended cements or multi-blended cements. One quick example is earlier people thought that only OPC should be the construction material, and this Noida Expressway, Yamuna Expressway, that was built in 2011-12 with 32% fly ash cement, that is a PPC cement, Portland Pozzolana cement, has proved that blended cements can definitely work. And today what is happening is most of our PPC cements conform to 43 grade. Therefore, there is no reason why that cannot be used in that. And multiple blends. One quick example is the use of composite cements. Composite cements has been permitted by BIS now through a recent amendment. If something can be permitted in reinforced concrete construction, why it should not be permitted or why it is not widely used in even plain concrete road construction remains a question. Of course, IRC has permitted, but its use has been very, very limited. That is number one. Number two is even in our mixed design, there needs to be some innovative thinking. What we do is if somebody is not very confident of the mixed design, the simplest thing you would say is add more cement. It will compensate for whatever else you have not taken care of. Instead of 350 kgs per meter cube, okay, make it 380 or 400, like that. Therefore, we should go for optimum mixed design, that is using minimum cement and getting the maximum strength and durability. Number three, use of alternate materials as aggregates or as aggregate replacement. To the fairly long list of Dr. Parida, I would just like to add one more into that, the use of bottom ash as aggregate replacement. In fact, bottom ash, a huge quantity of bottom ash is being produced. India can definitely in the near future cannot come out of thermal power plants. Therefore, we cannot avoid using coal. A 1000 watt a kilowatt power station consumes about 12,000 tons of coal per day, and it produces so much of fly ash. 20% of that is bottom ash. As per an estimate, about 800 tons of bottom ash is produced every day. 40 million tons. That is the estimate. 35 to 40 million tons of bottom ash is available. Now, experiments have shown that 30% bottom ash can be replaced, up to 50% it can be replaced. In fact, there was one trial road also that was constructed near Chandrapur, Nagpur in Maharashtra, where Mr. Bongirwar, senior engineer Mr. Bongirwar was involved. Now, maybe once it is not that, once one experiment happens somewhere, immediately we should jump on that, but definitely we should consider these materials and then allow them to be used under strict monitoring of quality, etc. And for whenever each one of these are permitted, we should also publish what are the do's and don'ts in road construction as far as the material handling is concerned. That becomes very important. And of course, there is a need to relook at the concept of L1. for new materials or sustainable materials or technologies, initial cost is likely to be very high. It is something like, 15 years back, self-compacting concrete was never accepted. When concrete industry or RMCs brought self-compacting concrete, everybody said, yes, it looks good. But then the basic question remains, what is the cost difference? It was 40% expensive, therefore people did not accept it. But as the volume increases, business volume increases, now there is hardly any difference between, let us say M40 grade of concrete, normal concrete and self-compacting concrete. There is hardly any difference in cost. Therefore, till it achieves that kind of balance, there may
Economies
be
of
some
scale.
small
Yeah.
cost increase, but it has to be taken into account.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll take this question forward to Dr. Hoshing again. When we talk about ESG in the road sector space, I think IRB is one of the foremost companies in India who have actually done a lot of work in that particular space. So, Hoshing sir, what cost-efficient green technologies or materials do you see gaining traction in the Indian road construction space?
So again, it's not only about material which will make the sustainability, because we're not only talking about, see, I tell you, my sustainable ranking started with just 0.7, number 7, and we have reached 52 marks in that. That is highest in the construction industry today. So it doesn't happen only because of, you can do some these small things. But the major thing here is to control emission when you're talking about green technologies or green construction. So let me still tell you a few things which is possible. I'll tell you that in last year itself, I would have used around 40 lakh tons of pond ash, plus around 20 lakh tons of slag, and some 5-7 lakhs tons of GGBS, and recycling of I don't know how many cubic meters. So that is the point where you get the sustained these rankings. So I think already told you 3 points, which is slags, fly ash, and GGBS. Fourth is recycling. So we started with 20% recycling. To today, I am having a plant which is one of the 2 or 3 plants which can do 60 to 70% of recycling. Can take the 60-70% of recycling material and do DPM for you. Actually, you can do BC also. I'm with that. If you do the correct design, use the correct material, you can do BC also with recycling. But as of now, it is not very much allowed, but it should be allowed in coming days. At least on service road, it should be allowed to start with. Then comes your real control. You know how to improve your groundwater, how do you reduce emissions, which is using proper equipment, proper back filters. Then how do you reduce the biofuel? Can we do anything to reduce that? So these are the things which are more important for your real green and to control carbon numbers. So we have done all these things, and that is where we got a lot of points in last 3 years. I would say one of the things is how to store water, and we have been doing all our hot mix plant recycling of water. Any water which is being used for cleaning, everything gets accumulated in one, and we do the sedimentation of that and then reuse for the same purposes again. So when we make our plant, we also see how the drainage arrangement is done, and then collect the water, then recycle it for washing of your equipment and everything. So these are small things which you can do. But in case of materials, yes. Plus, I would say the glass fiber reinforcement is also one thing which is coming up, and your steel fibers. These are the things also which can be added now, which will keep on, reducing your or increasing the green construction. So for me, I think it is the overall look of the project, other than nah, we should not go for small one or two things, but overall, while thinking the project, you design that when you're going to do you're making your plant area, that from there you should start your planning to end of that. Then your fuel, you have to see fuel leakages, how to control, how to have optimized engine servicing so that you use lesser fuels. All those things also are major part of constructions. Basically, as a civil engineer, we ignore these things, but as a contractor, these are things are very important for us.
Absolutely. I mean, asset management, even minor tweaks, as you said, in the construction of plant and all of that can make so much of difference in things. So going to Dr. Ramachandra again. So, sir, from your experience at Ultratech and Rasta, what are some of the most impactful design or material related decisions that can reduce whole life cycle cost of roads without compromising, again, safety and quality side of things? Sorry, Dr.
Yeah,
Ramachandra?
yeah. I put on the video, but I missed taking this. Okay. Yes, as I mentioned, of course, I have spent nearly 2 decades with Ultratech Cements and also involved in the development of particularly these low carbon cements. Now, low carbon cements, as it was discussed earlier, whether it is with fly ash or with slag or with limestone or with calcined clay, these are all the possibilities. Nowadays, even code making bodies, BIS, etc., they have allowed new types of these cements also. Therefore, that is definitely the starting point in reducing the cost also. And the design innovations that have come, as I mentioned, this whether it is white topping or short panel road instead of conventional roads, that is another way to look at it. The design through innovative designs, the cost reduces, and in none of these there is any compromise as far as the strength is concerned, as far as durability is concerned, or as far as their day-to-day performance of road is concerned. And in the coming days, as far as rigid pavements are concerned, I am very sure that precast concrete roads would come up in a big way. Now, precast industry, it is also because of lack of skilled labor that is available. Anything that is made in the factory is always better. Therefore, precast panels are used even for the highway. I mean, this elevated highway constructions, metro constructions, etc. Therefore, there is no reason to believe. And 3D precasting is becoming quite popular in housing. Therefore, there is no reason to believe that precast roads will not become popular in the coming days. In terms of quality, they will be good, and in terms of cost also, they can be optimized. As I said initially, you may say cost seems to be slightly more, but then more and more volume business coming to precast industry, it will definitely help. And another area is stabilized subgrade and subbase through several well-known methods. And one more thing to ensure quality is increasing the share of this non-destructive testing of structures. Destructive testing is always there. Non-destructive testing of structures is one more thing that we should look at. And particularly on rigid pavements, we can also think of using sensors for measuring the in situ performance parameters. Now, this has been tested in buildings. This has been tested on roads also. IIT Kharagpur did a pilot study on a road putting these sensors. Now, there you will get the actual strength of the structure. Now, taking cubes or taking beams and testing them in the lab may not actually reflect the strength of the actual structure. Whereas in situ strength we can get through these innovative things like NDT or use of sensors, etc. And
So,
lastly, even at the
yeah,
cost of repeating, I would say that training and certification of workmen will definitely result in some cost reduction. Thank you.
thank you so much, sir. Well, now shift gears a little bit, on the technology side of things. The question is to Dr. Parida. So, from your experience leading AI-based safety initiatives and from IRASTE, how can emerging technologies be leveraged to enhance road safety while optimizing construction and maintenance cost?
I just let me tell a little bit about iRaste. So it was a project with Intel, then IIIT Hyderabad, Mahindra and Mahindra. So the project was basically for 250 buses, advanced driver assistance system was installed. So it's essentially to identify if a pedestrian is very close in front of the bus. So there were 250 buses where the ADAS system was fitted, and we got 20 lakhs alerts. So essentially that helps you tell situations which are unsafe. Otherwise, today to identify a black spot, we need to look at a data for the which is 3 years for a period of 3 years, and we know like the accident records are now available. It takes a lot of time before it is published or it is shared in the open domain. But AI-based system tells you, in fact, in a very dynamic way, it can help you identifying gray spots like areas in the city which needs attention, which needs intervention. So we could work out remedial measures for Nagpur city where the IRASTE project was executed. The other thing is that very recently there was another panel discussion where there was specific mention that by using AI, it's possible to quantify, map potholes for a city in a very quick manner. Like you just run a vehicle with a camera, and with a quick analysis, you can find out like the extent of potholes in the different parts of the city. On that basis, you can exactly work out like the amount of resources which is required for addressing or for repairing all these potholes. So that is another application of AI. And very recently also there is discussion on digital twins. So that can really revolutionize with respect to uh, reforming the highway sector. It could be the elevated structures where the digital twin concepts can be utilized to understand, say, dynamic conditions of the highway infrastructure and to initiate appropriate action on the basis of inputs which are receiving through the digital twins. So that's how I look at like the deep tech can play a really transformative role with respect to highways infrastructure development in the country.
Thank you so much, sir. Very aptly said. I think 5D beam or even transport simulations, etc., can help a lot in terms of making things. And ADAS, as you rightly said, will be a game changer. Although pricing wise, it still remains a bit unfeasible the market today. Uh, Now coming to Mr. R.K. Pandey, as a long-time NHI leader, do you see the role of technology and international best practices in reducing the whole life cycle costing of Indian highways? Especially in remote or challenging geographies.
Let us forget about remote. You heard in the presentation that we'll have to build 10,000 kilometers. You heard from the people that the kind of material required for this. The question is how long we can construct with this pace and with this magnitude. The answer only lies in alternate material, best practices, and use of technology. Without that, it is impossible to do this. Today, the society is looking towards us to give them the safe, durable, sustainable, and very fast construction. All these can be achieved by adopting technologies. I can foresee one thing: the way we have seen shift from manual construction to mechanization. In a near future, I am seeing that we'll have to move from mechanization to digital construction. It is going to give me durable road because we are eliminating the all human element in the quality control. Number two, it will going to improve the pace of construction because again no involvement and machine will do it. So it will be a big shift, and it is a compulsion which has to be adopted in near future.
So very rightly said, sir. I mean, very often we talk about the availability of drivers in the market, availability of construction equipment operators. Tomorrow, if we see autonomous movement of construction equipments in construction, the dynamics can completely change as well. So, coming back to Dr. Hoshing, sir, given your rich experience across construction execution and strategic leadership, what operational practices or procurement models have you found most effective in reducing, project cost without compromising on safety or durability?
I think part of the answer I already given in my first two thing. But as far as procurement is concerned, we run through our in-house ERPs, worked with SAP. Uh, but main thing is to get the central procurement done for all our projects, including our operation and maintenance projects. We do the central procurement, give the yearly, you know, yearly requirement to the vendors so that we get quite a good rebate in terms of cost. That's the best thing which we can do. Now there are more models for procurement which are coming up. Of course, I've been talking to some and they procure it for you, and they in fact give the money for you, and you have to pay them in slowly through the whatever bills. It is good for a EPC contractor, of course. So they can buy, their procurement will all come through central purchases of this. I am talking about my thing. If he has 20, 30 companies procurement, any company, he will get much cheaper. In fact, he can also do the backward integration for steel and all those things. So his costing will go further down. You can buy from these vendors, which will be able to give you cheaper than the original vendor, same material. So because of the huge buying scales, and they also give you the some limits of buying, so you need not pay immediately. So your cash flow is also, because it's not easy for EPC contractor to get monthly payment on time. And HI is one good place where you get, but most of the places you don't get, or if you're doing a private contractor job, you don't get it. So such vendors are there now, and there are a lot of such platforms available to procure, especially for steel, cement, not bitumen, but steel and cement, yes, and other materials. Also, they are big industry for uh, equipments who are supplying you these equipment. They're large land bank of equipment they are having with themselves. So you need not buy everything. So what happens is every project, when it comes, we then start buying equipment. That takes a lot of our cost. So for optimizing, if you go to these things, your capital cost will not increase too much. And then once that is done, your you return it back, and then of course your cost is not there. You don't need a lot of manpower also, because manpower also they provide. So these are the ways of indirect saving, where either you take from such a vendor these things who are a bulk supplier of materials and equipment.
Thank you so much, sir. I mean, what you're essentially saying, makes a lot of sense. The positioning of aggregators in the market, right, on the
You are right,
supply.
aggregators.
Right. So, and we see a lot of that actually in the housing market in the European side. So, where you can, as a homeowner, order steel, give the design of your house and everything to that person. The aggregator will even cut the steel, bend the steel, and give the product to you. So,
Yes, ready steel. Yes, they give everything ready. Yes.
correct, correct. Thank you so much, sir. Now, moving on to Dr. Parida back again. Given your leadership in both Indian Road Congress and BIS committees, how can updated standards and specifications for bitumens, recycled materials, and urban road design help create a more cost-effective and future-ready road infrastructure framework?
So regarding bitumen, I'll refer to a particular project which is sponsored by Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, which is called PG grade bitumen, performance-based bitumen. So the present bitumen is more driven by penetration grade or viscosity grade, so which is not really in conformity with respect to climatic and the traffic conditions So to address that need, that project is currently being undertaken at CRI along with IIT Delhi for MORT. So that is a very forward-looking, research with respect to bitumen, where I mean that's going to change the concepts very, very drastically, and it's certainly going to help with respect to uses of different kind of modified bitumen and biobitumen. That's one, and then during discussion also, like Pandit have talked about, like increasing the usage of wrap materials. Like currently, IRC standard confines it to 30%. Mr. Hosing also said they are working with the increased wrap content. CRA is doing a project with NHI. We have done trials beyond 30 up to 60%. So those trials have been done in association with NHI. And I'm sure these research will certainly help in strengthening the increased RAP usage in the highway sector. And coming back to the urban roads, I believe like if I look at the entire highway development in the last decade, urban roads have I say that they have missed the attention they should be requiring, because largely you see the development with respect to intercity corridor, it has taken place in a rapid pace in a very structured way, because urban roads are dealt by different state governments. So there is a varying degree of resources, varying degree of capability, all those things they put a bottleneck. But I say IRC has brought out various new documents. There is a manual for urban roads, and there are a host of other documents which can be extremely useful with respect to improving urban road infrastructure. In fact, in June, we have a IRC Mid-Council where we are coming up with three documents. So one is the modified document on urban utilities, accommodating urban utilities in urban roads. And the second one is the bicycle track document, where there is a great possibility. Some work has started, but then it's going to help improving bicycle infrastructure in a very big way. And the third document is a totally new concept. It is say providing for motorized two-wheeler lanes in urban areas. So already some of the Southeast Asian countries, they have done the trials, and with World Bank support, IRC has developed this document on motorized two-wheeler lane. So I see a great possibility of these new documents and new research strengthening the urban road infrastructure in a very big way.
Thank you, sir. Going back to Dr. Oshing again, sir, while it's a bit of a cliche to ask you this question, but how can private infrastructure developers better collaborate with government authorities to streamline approvals, reduce delays, and thereby bring down the overall cost of the project, especially in large-scale highway developments?
I think private people still work, let it be land acquisition, let it be anything, whatever possible things we do. But I'll just go beyond these points. So it's thing is that when you are working at ground level, or when you're working at headquarter levels of, so headquarter level have a lot of good understanding. They're well qualified people and sitting at very high positions. They understand a lot of things. But when you're working at ground level, they are not that good. And especially your first line of communication is your independent engineer, which is hardly any independent. And the quality of people there are very poor. So I think that there also they are trying to improve the salary structure there, or something they are doing. They are changing. Maybe they already changed. So they get a better person at ground level, but the quality is very bad. So my point is not this. My point is this, that AI has to come in here now. So there are a lot of projects which I have been talking to, a lot of people I have been talking to, where you can just go past your site and keep on talking to on your phone. It will change to text. You keep on photoing. It will take everything. And then, you have the report ready. Once you have that drone, you have seen, you walk past, it takes on photos, you keep on commenting, everything is there. So there's no need for anybody else to come and see what is happening. And for this happens, this is good for me also. When I work for myself, I go past and tell, this is what it is. We get everything live feed. So these things are already happening. There are people who are coming to us who are giving these type of solutions. We'll work on this. So this will ease away your communication and the gap in communication, what your work is happening, all those things that will ease away. And smallest thing, that is request for inspection. I started that without paperwork. Now you don't need a paper. Everything, if you are going for inspection, you can just create it from your SAP system. It goes to the required person at NHA headquarters, or sorry, at their PD office and the IE office. They can just what is happening. They can go to site, enter in their system. So everything can be monitored online. So now you need not write paper. And then even if you want to do quality control test, everything can be just a printout, take a printout and keep it. So there is no management there. So that is the level which is going to come. Wait for another 2 years. Everything will happen like that.
Very rightly said, sir. I mean, typically over the last 17 years where I have worked, I mean, infrastructure sector has been a laggard when it comes to adoption of technology. But over the last 2
Yes.
years, I've seen people actually being inquisitive about agentic AI, generative AI, and so on, and how those models can work. I mean, there could be huge efficiencies created by those. Absolutely.
Yes.
Now, coming to the very last question of this particular session to Mr. R.K. Pandey, and kind of summing it up also in certain ways. With your deep involvement in flagship programs like Bharatmala and standard setting committees of IRC and so on, what are the most pressing cost related efficiencies you have observed in large scale road projects? And how can these be systematically addressed? And if I may add a little bit more, do you see design efficiencies completely missing actually, and there should be opening up of that, or there are multiple other things, which still pains all of us?
To be very frank, let me tell you, when I say project preparation, it is purely a project preparation, only one of the option. Nobody thinks about how to optimize it or how to do the value engineering. Of course, the question may be raised that why we should not make it part of the TUR of the consultant, that he has to do that value engineering. It is part of the document that he is supposed to do all cost optimization, value engineering. During last 5 years, number of new codes came. You heard about continuously reinforced concrete, then you heard about panel concrete, you heard about high performance bituminous mixes, then ultra high performance concrete, then number of codes. Unfortunately, in none of the project report I have seen, they have compared the cost and then said, you go for this. Same thing applies for the availability of the local material. Today, a lot of waste material is available around the cities. But when preparing the project, we never think of using those. Never. Nobody is giving thought to it. So what is really required is take up value engineering, take up cost optimization at the level of project preparation. Of course, it is in the scope of the consultant, but it is not happening. What to do then? The best part of it, when you are approving a project, don't approve a project. See how it is, optimized. It should be the part of the appraisal process that yes, the consultant will not only project his proposal, but he has to say why this, why not all this, why we have not done this. If we'll start doing that, I'm sure things will improve. Number two, let us do some kind of rating. And lastly, whatever you do, innovation is such a thing that nobody can put a full stop. Then leave it, which is really the spirit of the EPC and hybrid annuity and beauty. Let the concessionaire contractor do the real engineering. Because the BOT, when it was introduced, it was one of the objective of introducing BOT was to bring innovation. Because as a government agency, it is very difficult to come out with some particular product which is a monopolistic product. So let it be implied and remove all those conditions. Design left to the contractor concession. No minimum, no tentative, nothing. If we'll do that, perhaps we can meet the objective.
Fantastic,
Thank
sir.
you.
Democratization of innovation, that's what I would call it. Make it open, absolutely. So, that's the, set of discussions that we intended to do. We will move on to the, the question and answer session. Rakesh, if you are there,
Yeah.
request you to take over, please.
So, first of all, thank you for all the panelists for such an excellent and thought-provoking deliberation on the topic of such a really interesting topic. So there are a few questions in the chat box. I will take few of them. So there is a question from Mr. Jagrati Chaudhary. So she wants to know how are the geologists involved in road quality assessment? Who do means maybe Dr. Ramchandra, maybe Dr. Parida can take this question.
Yeah, Dr. Parida. Yeah. See, very quickly, I don't know how and where geologists can get into this because particularly for roads, the depth to which they go down is quite limited. I don't think so, and there are no such examples other than very heavy earthquakes, etc., which have caused a deterioration or the entire roads stretches going. Otherwise, in our designs, there are no parameters related to the geology of that. Yes, things like black cotton soil and things like that, definitely it has to be studied from the geotechnical point of view, may not be from geology point of view. Yeah.
Then,
I would
yeah.
like to add that it is quite important, especially while we are developing infrastructure in hilly areas, especially like in the strategic areas, there has been a lot of highway development, but then there are a lot of landslides, triggers have been there. So there is, I understand we need good amount of understandings with a geoscience perspective, which we are lacking.
So there is another question from Mr. Ankit Patedar. He wants to know, is there any Indian code for pervious concrete for pavement?
Yeah, pervious concrete can be used, but not for the regular pavement. It has a very limited application. It can be used for walkways, pathways, and parking lots.
So he's actually asking about, is there any Indian code for that?
Yeah, for that purpose, yes, there is, but not very suitable for the normal pavements.
So then there is a question from Abhinabha Pal, and he wants to know about, do you see using plastics in road construction, and is there any government mandate for sustainability? I think Dr.
Yeah,
maybe
there is a
Dr. Parida
IRC.
can take it.
There is a IRC code on use of waste plastic in the road construction, and the ministry has issued direction that it has to be mandatory use, and a lot of plastic has been used in the road construction by mixing it in bitumen. And there are studies being conducted by NHAI wherein the plastic will be used as an aggregate.
And there is one more question from Mr. Sachin Joy. I don't know how. Can someone suggest on land acquisition cost optimization? I don't know. I probably he's want to just say about how can we minimize the cost of land acquisition, if I correctly understand the question.
The only option available is, because land acquisition cost is it is calculated on a basis of the fixed formula. The only optimization can be in the form of, rather than taking alignment from here, take alignment from some other area. Rather than going through the commercial area, go through the, agriculture or barren land. That is the only way of optimization of the cost of land. Greenfield versus brownfield as well. Because if you go for the brownfield, the most of the area is developed, it will come under residential, where the rate will be maybe 3 to 4 times than the agricultural land. If we go to the greenfield, the land cost will be less, unit rate.
So I think we have come to close of this event. Mr. Day, any comments from your side? Final comments?
Yeah, I mean, the discussion was extremely interesting, and I'll say I have three key takeaways while we discussed a lot. The first one is, as Mr. R.K. Pandey said, and Dr. Hoshing also said, there is a missing link of design optimization and cost optimization from a design and innovation side, in our contracts, at least in road sector. And there is nothing much that can be done by the private sector unless that is opened up, that is democratized, and people are given the right to actually do that. Right. So that's one end of the spectrum. The middle part is really about supply chain optimization, and that is what I think the Indian road industry fights its war on. Every bid is about how your optimized your supply chain is, be it alternate material, be it query ownership, or be it how, or in an aggregator format, or even in a direct procurement, how you're optimizing your supply chain rates and so on. So that's an open area. We need to see how companies kind of develop on those segments. And third is pure play technology alignment. As we see the entire process, the operation of the projects, be it from the government side, be it on the private side, I think there is a lot of adoption of technology that needs to be done, and we see a lot of construction companies actually adopting those things. Even NHAI, be it the data lake and other things that has been done so far, there is a move towards that. And hopefully, once we get all these three building blocks clear, we'll see a lot of cost optimization getting unlocked over a period of time. That's all from me.
So with this, we come to an end of this exciting panel discussion. I would like to thank all the panelists for sharing their valuable insights on such an important topic. It was a pleasure having you all for the panel discussion. And then also we would like to thank all our participants for joining us for today's event. And we would look forward to your participation in our next virtual panel discussion that is going to happen on June 18th. And the topic will be building bridges. So till then, bye and take care. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good weekend. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.